You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Of the net.
You're watching Leicester Till I Die TV.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
To play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Right, Chris.
All right. I don't think I am. No. I'm kind of, in a way, lost for words. Did we not set our alarms? I know it was an early kickoff, but maybe we should have set our alarms. Tell you one thing, I know it's Halloween weekend because that first 20 minutes it was a holiday. You know, when I do the let's take a minute to laugh at, maybe we should do that to Leicester for the first 20 minutes. I mean, second half was a tale of two halves. Second half, we were all over them, but we were 2-0 down by then. And I'm going to say this because I'm sure we are going to get a lot of Arsenal fans popping, and we might even have a couple coming on the stream in a bit. But I'm going to say this now because I've taken the piss out of Arsenal. I've taken the piss out of the fact that you guys hate Arteta and trust the process. You know, I've even got that there. Yeah, trust the process. I do, but I've got to give credit where credit's due. In that first 20 minutes, you were all over us. And probably on the whole outlook of the match, you deserved it. Yes, I know we sort of were the best team in the second half and we threw everything at you and we were missing the net by inches. Man of the match overall for the two teams, I've got to say, was your goalkeeper. DT got it right on that. I mean, a couple of great saves. There was a goalkeeper, again, that you guys hated when you signed him. I'll tell you what, he deserved his man of the match. And, you defended well. So overall, credit where credit's due. Arteta and Arsenal, you deserve that. This is Leicester Till I Die TV. This is where you can watch and listen to us.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
To play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Well, we're going to say hey to Maisie, Devils United. Great channel there. Pop on over to it. There's a lot, not just Man United, there's a lot of women's football as well. I hope, between you and me, Maisie, I hope that you did what you said you were going to do. Because if you haven't, and here's the dad in me now, if you haven't, Maisie, I'll be very disappointed in you. Not angry, not mad, but very disappointed in you. Brookline here from America says, I woke up in Boston before the Foxes. I mean, I set my alarm. I was up in time. How difficult was it? David's got a headache. I tell you what, mate. I think we're all migraines all around, I think. And Maisie, yeah, you'll laugh again, Maisie. And I tell you what, you could be laughing at us today. Liverpool fan, hello. How the devil are you, mate? We got you. Caribou Cup. I think we've got you twice over Christmas now. Well, after today's performance, I'm really not looking forward to that. How the devil are you? Yeah, don't ask. Don't ask. The only good thing, sorry about this, Maisie, and glad you've done that. I really, really, really am. Well done. But the fact that Spurs are playing Man United later and it's a possible sack game might just take the pressure off Leicester this weekend and take the camera off us. Maisie said, can we have a jingle saying, let's laugh at Leicester? I so did think about that. If I'd had time, you don't know. But I tell you what, in fairness, in that second half, we were the better team. We annihilated you, but we were 2-0 down by then. And, you just defended well. So it was it was good, but it was much too late. David, it's like someone turned off the switch when we started, and about 30 minutes they turned it on. Just unforgivable. We started so slow. I'm out of my ideas why that is. I thought we'd got a defensive coach. Wasn't Mr. Torre supposed to be our defensive coach? We need one. I'll tell you. All I can say is what a performance from Ramsdale. The Barnes and Lookman came on, helped out too little too late. Yeah, Ramsdale was amazing. David, good evening, sir. How the devil are you? Or good afternoon. I'm used to saying evening, of course. I wish I could say I was more confident going in. Credit to Arsenal for holding the clean sheet, but sorting out the defence needs to be a priority of the next period. Can't concede 2 every game. We can't concede every game. 1 clean sheet this season. Even Ranieri. I think he might take more than a pizza, though, this time. I don't know. Here's the man who loves pizza. He is the thinking woman's Totty. Let's bring him in and say good evening, Brad. How are you, Brad?
Frustrated, mate. I'm so frustrated with what I've just witnessed. And it's frustrating in a bad and then in a good way. I can't describe what I've just sat down and watched because I was a bit late out of bed. I couldn't really be bothered to move. It was too warm in my bed for a chilly night. And I thought, I've got to get up, get myself revved up because the lads will be ready for it. And I was probably more awake having a coffee at 12 before the kickoff than Leicester were. I don't know when the clocks go back. I never do, right? I never know when these clocks go back and forwards, right? But I think Leicester must have gone out at that pitch and thought, Arsenal are really going at it for 11:30 because they just didn't turn up. And then complete contrast. I need a break already. I need a break, and I've only just come on. I'm not going to get into a rant.
I mean, as I say, I've been very, very quick. I've been very, very quick to laugh at Arsenal this season. Even on last night's show, I was confident. I went on This Is Luca's live show, Arsenal fan, and even there I was taking the piss. Like I say, I'd got the process message and everything up, but I think they're turning it round. I mean, they don't like Arteta, but he managed that game perfectly, didn't he?
Well, I wouldn't say perfectly because let's face it.
Did because they came out with a win, didn't they? They came out with a 2-0 win.
Yeah. So on terms of the outcome, he definitely got it right. But, and I know I posted this in the group, and I'm definitely going to say it here. After the first 20 minutes, if you just said to me, Bradley, you're going to be able to come up with any positives, I'd have laughed and laughed and laughed. Probably laughed more than Maisie does. But this is why it's so frustrating. There was probably so much positives to take out of that second half performance, and it's frustrating that we found ourselves in that position that,
it's an old saying. It was a game of 2 halves. It's a game of 2 halves. It was totally a game of 2 halves.
Which
but by then it was too late. It was too late. It's no good.
Yeah.
it's no good starting to fight when you're 2-0 down and you've only got 45 minutes. But you know that yes, I thought when we came out of that second half, I thought, yeah, here we go, we're going to be at it. We'll get a goal. Arsenal will start to get a little bit. Oh, they've got a goal back, and you know, who knows? But they built the kit. You know, they built. They've got Donald Trump in their defence, building that bloody wall for them, haven't they? Hi, Static. Arsenal fan, welcome along to the chat. So you deserved it today. I've got to say, and whether anybody agrees with me or not, I'm giving credit to Arsenal because they've taken the stick. They deserved it. Yet we threw everything at them in the second half, but they defended well, and the goalkeeper was amazing.
Yeah, he was. And look, on another day, especially the way Leicester lay siege to Arsenal's attack in the second half, on another day, you're probably right, Chris. And I think some Arsenal fans, even though they've just come out of that game and watched their team win 2-0, have come away from the game going, we may have won 2-0, but had Leicester scored, I think they would have feared the thing. And again, that's probably a big positive. I mean, I know we'll get on to Alan's man of the match and ratings later, but I think when you look at them, and you know, considering they were probably both at zeros after 25 minutes, they're probably about, you know, he's done a very good job again, given his ratings when we get to them. But I mean, yeah, and you say, 2-0 down, and you can't really turn it around. You know, you shouldn't only have 45 minutes. Well, realistically, we had 70 minutes to turn that game around.
We did.
So
yes,
it shouldn't have taken 20 minutes to settle down after being 2-0 down, to then only have 45 minutes to go hammer and tongue at Arsenal. I know that free kick 99 times out of 100, even if a keeper gets a hand on that, it probably goes off the underside of the bar and in. It's a world-class save. I'm going to say it's up there.
Yes.
It's contender for save of the season. If ands and buts was the case for Leicester today, I really feel, and that's why I'm probably so frustrated, along with a lot of others, the way that result's gone about happening. I could have handled it if we were trying everything and Arsenal were just better, but there was just that solid opening period where Arsenal carved us apart, and in the end, that was enough for Arsenal, and that's the most disappointing thing.
But they did it against Tottenham. You know, they had 45 minutes when they were absolutely brilliant, and then 45 minutes when they weren't. But you know, if you're going to only have one half of brilliance, have it first, and then
hope for the best, defending.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know, sorry, I'm just looking at the chat. I was just confused then. Melina, I'll send it you in a second. I mean, when I look at the team that we started with, I was happy. I was really pleased with that team.
I was, but anyone that watched the preview show was knowing that I was maybe, you know, don't change a winning team, don't change a winning formula. I was totally on board with it, and when I did my preview, I was more than happy to suggest that I sacrificed a midfielder, and it more than likely was going to line up the way it did. But I will say, I think it was very clear to see that, you know, not to blow my own trumpet, but maybe I had the better idea than Brendan in the first half, that we maybe should have tried to combat their free-flowing push commitment forward, men forward. I think we was in a defensive shape in our first half that really put us in a pickle, which is no, you know, there's nothing against Brendan. At the end of the day, when it's working and we're winning games, you can't say, oh, well, formation was the reason. What I'm saying is you know, Brendan says he'll change things as and when he did. And I think, unfortunately, he just got a little bit figured out. Arsenal maybe planned for it. And it's just one of them. Clearly, in the second half, the change of shape worked for Leicester. Yeah. You could also entail with the way Arsenal peter out from such an aggressive and fast-paced start that maybe Arsenal helped that by putting all their eggs in the first 45, if you want to, because apart from the odd chance or two when Leicester were stretched trying to get a goal the later the game went on, they didn't look anywhere near the Arsenal of the first half. You know, you really did have a classic case of two teams putting in two separate half performances in that sense. So
Yes, yeah. No, as I say, I looked at that and I was happy with that. Like you say, you had to make one change, but I mean, had the game finished a draw, had it been a 0-0, let's say, or one, they'd be better. You'd have said that was fair because we both had our halves, but it was very frustrating. And it's kind of summed our season up, really, hasn't it? In the fact that we're consistently inconsistent, as people like to say,
yeah,
and
saying I like that. It's my infamous saying about Leicester.
yeah, it does, and that sums the year up. I mean, what do you think there? Maisie said, indeed he was on the bench. I sort of said when he didn't come on yet, this is Brendan doing what Ollie can't do. He doesn't put half-fit players on. But she said, would things have been different had he played? And I think the answer to that, personally, I'll let you answer it in a second, is no, because, one person isn't going to make that much of a difference to that first 20 minutes.
No, I agree with you in a way. I understand that, obviously, if you're looking through the Leicester squad on individuals, you probably would go Vardy, Tillemans, Ndidi, Maddison, Casper sort of thing would be the first 5 players that spring to mind if you're saying who's your standout players, if that's the right term you want to use. But honestly, I think Samore came into the game in great form. He was indeed, he's only just got back. I agree with you that we've learned a lot over the last 2 years that you don't rush players back because it's the way the game's played these days. You don't want to take a risk of them starting that game, coming off and being out for another few weeks. I actually think Samare had a great game, especially in that second half. Because no one covered themselves in glory in that first half, let's be honest. We're only talking about second half performance in realistic terms, in good things for Leicester. He got forward well. I don't think that indeed he would have been too dissimilar in how he went about his business. Just one of them games, isn't it, unfortunately, where a combination of brilliant start from Arsenal and a slow one from us, in the end tailed for the result. But no, I don't think it would have changed too much in it. I think both do a similar role. It's exactly why we brought him.
Yes.
So,
yeah. And sometimes you have to say, we talked about this in the preview, we've played Arsenal 30 times since we've been in the top flight and on and off, obviously. We've only won about 4 or 5 of those. Sometimes you just got to put your hand up and go, yeah, it was just one of those games. Doug, you're here on the 20th of December for the Carabao Cup game. We've got Liverpool away. Great, isn't it? That's the Monday, so I'm not sure if it will be. Now, this lady, I've got to say, I did say earlier, I have taken the piss out of Arsenal fans. One of them probably in particular. And I can see that if she carries on smiling in the green room, she won't be invited on. So can I just say, before I bring her on, do you remember when we won the title, Brad?
Yes.
And Arsenal beat us, and that was like the best thing that happened to them that season. I think that might be happening this season as well, because I think this one result is making Melina very, very happy.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Brad. I'm going to be honest. I was going to take it easy on you guys. I actually didn't expect us to keep a clean sheet today, especially away from home, considering you guys were the team that trashed Man United. I didn't expect that at all. And I know Jamie Vardy loves a jammy goal against us. He missed an easy sitter. I don't know if you noticed. He missed a really easy sitter.
We may have noticed. We may have just, there was a few that we just missed. We took the paint off your.
But you know what? I'll be honest. In that second half, we were poor in terms of our form dropped immensely. And we lost intensity. Leicester grew into the game when they brought the substitutes on. I told you they were bringing on attacking players as substitutes to try to get us on the counterattack. But our defensive back line done really well to keep you guys out of momentum. But Aaron Ramsdale, I think, kept us in that game, saved everything that came to him. And I'll say it live on here. I really didn't want him. I thought, this keeper's been relegated every club he's been to. He's 30 million. It's a waste of money. We should have got a John Stone, an Areola if he was available. And I'm eating my words now. And I'm really proud of him so far of how his ball distribution, commanding his box, and really his work rate so far. He looks so composed in goal, Chris, and I didn't expect that. I thought it would be a 3-1 with a Vardy goal, but then this morning I was like, I'm so nervous. I slept 2 hours. I couldn't fall asleep. I was so nervous for this game because I know how Leicester can turn up. But even when Daka came on, I was like, okay, this is where we're going to concede. And it just felt like we were holding on to that lead and just praying that we wouldn't concede. But I think you guys, your midfield was a bit ripped apart today. And defensively,
on the point you just made there, do you think? I mean, we were close on quite a few times,
Yeah.
That second half, had we got a goal, had one of those goals gone in, I think it could have been.
It would have been a draw. It would have been a draw, 100%.
Yeah.
Also, that Madison shot. Madison didn't even know that was saved. Forget Madison. I thought, oh my God, what just happened there? That was like by far the save of the season. And that was incredible.
Do you still want him?
Sorry, James Madison, who?
Fair enough. Look, I can say, fair enough. We'll have a longer chat tomorrow because obviously you are doing.
But the one thing I will say is I'm not going to get too hyped up because we tend to be that team that takes 2 steps forward and 12 steps backwards.
Yeah.
And we got Liverpool away, so we might get humbled by Liverpool. So I'm not going to toot my horn too much. But overall, it was a good performance by us, and unlucky to you guys to drop points. But then again, you guys have European football, whereas we don't. So we're only playing once a week, and we have more time.
I can't even dig at you because you're digging it yourself.
I'm realistic, though. What I'm saying is true, right?
It is. It is. We will discuss it more, sort of, because we've got the full show tomorrow. I'm going to get somebody else in a second. But one question.
Yes, thank you so much, Chris, for having me on, and thank you, Brad.
No, one question before you go. Arteta stays?
You know what? From the Aston Villa game and from the Palace game, I was really disappointed with the way we played for that game. But he's starting to be more consistent in the lineup and tactics. I'm giving him a lot more of my trust and confidence. Hopefully the guy doesn't do me over and lose my trust. But, he's getting things right, and I'm giving him credit where it's due. Today, credits to him. Hats off to him for the tactics today. But I think Leicester were just really poor.
Well, like I say, we'll go into it. I'm biting my tongue here very much at the moment. Melina, thanks very much for coming on.
Thank you, Brad.
Not gloating too much. You could easily have done,
Oh, no, not at all. I'll do that in the group chat.
Yeah, and you'll do it tomorrow on the show 1-to-1. Enjoy that. Go out and enjoy it. Like I say, it's revenge time for you, and I'm getting even fatter because I'm eating even more.
Yeah, you can still enjoy and celebrate and revisit your FA Cup victory.
Yeah. By the way, can I just say, I'm not actually asking you out here, but what are you doing on Thursday night?
What time?
Oh, it'll probably be about 8 o'clock. Only because we're in Europe, so we're going to be watching a European game.
Oh, wow.
What you be doing? Thank you. Get one in at the end there.
You just reeled right into that. You fell for that outline and sinker. It took me a second.
My team picked up 3 points today. What did your team pick up?
That's history. That's over now.
I tell you what we picked up, Melina. We picked up new batteries for their alarm clock, so they wake up on time for a game.
we need it. Amazing. Okay. I enjoyed that. Can I just say, I know we lost, and it was almost worth giving the 3 points up for getting that in there. Yes, got you. Melina,
Thanks for
have a
having
great
me on,
weekend.
Chris. You
Go Go and enjoy your roundabouts.
Thanks for having me on. Take care.
Not a problem. I will see you
Bye.
tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Take
Bye,
care,
Dad.
Melina. Bye-bye. Oh, that's all. I'm laughing at me there because I was so impressed with myself.
I tell you what, mate, that was an absolute peach. You had me for a second, then I thought about it, and I was like, "Well done, Chris. Well done." Well done,
Yeah,
mate.
almost worth losing the 3 points for. I'm not going to lie. We're going to get another Arsenal fan in a second.
Yeah.
Maisie says Wednesday nights are better than Thursday. Well, maybe for a couple of weeks for you, but we'll see after that. Eh? You might be playing on Thursdays in a few weeks.
Yeah, and the last time we played at midweek, we played on Wednesdays anyway, so we know the better because we won.
Yes, indeed. 16 shots to Arsenal's 9. Double the passes. Half as much again touches. I mean, like I said, that's all second half action, but I can say I think I can't be disappointed because we put the performance in.
Well, we put the performance in after the damage was done, but yeah, again, granted, I take it, but see this smug. I'm gonna have a little bit of a smug smile, and it's not because I've heard Mace's laugh that makes me smile. I've got a smug smile because you know my disdain for seeing stats because they don't tell the story of the game more times than not. But to beat a dead horse with this saying, as I always say, Chris, what stat matters?
Yeah. No, that's what I was saying. You know, that's what I'm saying. It was disappointing. And
I know we'll probably touch on it in a second. I have to admit with Maisie, considering the space that Vardy was afforded and how clinical we know he can be, I wouldn't say so much it was a sitter, but I expected a lot more from Jamie. I think that was the moment I first had that feeling of going, this isn't going to be the game. This isn't going to be one of them games for us where we pull it back when that's the sort of chance you are missing, or at least not hitting on target. I mean, the way Ramsdale was playing in that game, even if Jamie Vardy had volleyed it into the top right corner, he still saved it. But it was probably our best glaring chance we had from a fairly sturdy Arsenal defence, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Brighton apparently are losing 2-0.
And Man City are losing to Palace. Zaha.
Really? Wow. Well, we've actually got, and we're going to bring Luca in a minute, who's an Arsenal fan. I'm just going to go over because we're just going to cut into Brendan Rodgers' post-match press conference, and we're just going to hear what he's got to say.
My answer is I don't have the first damn clue.
Is that being a bit unfair?
Well, that is. It's funny. It's funny, but it is a bit hard because, to be perfectly honest, hi Luca.
Big up.
Big up, mate.
Are you outside, Luca?
Yes, I am.
Thought so.
Because he got. I will give credit where it's due. You know, for all the times that Leicester fans have maybe questioned the lineup or questioned the starting player in Rodgers' tenure at the club when he's made announcements. You know, he probably redeemed himself a little bit because he changed it up and he did the right thing and he made them subs at half time, and that just shows he's not stubborn as a manager. He's not set in his ways. He knew it was wrong. He knew what needed changes, and clearly the lads knew. And we've been discussing this all season, and we've probably been discussing this months before, but this is the first time we've been discussing it as an action we're seeing. Leicester did show we do have a plan B. I think that's another big selection positive to look at it. There is a plan B for Leicester.
The big question, Luca, you know what I'm going to ask you. You know what I'm going to ask you. And well done today. You deserved
thank you very much.
You did. We weren't awake. You took advantage of the fact that we weren't playing well in that first 20 minutes. And then
of course not.
2-0 up, it was always going to be difficult to get back. But it's got to be Arteta in at the moment, hasn't it?
Nope, still Arteta out at the moment, mate.
You see, I don't get that. You know, I mean, you know, under it's so ferocious in how many fans want him out, and yet you're up to fifth. Technically, you're. And I know we're only a quarter of the way through the season, but you're up to fifth. Up until the end of the day, you're not beaten. You're unbeaten in 6 or something like that. 7. Well, there you go. Then you see. You know, in fairness, he outthought Brendan Rodgers for the game again. I hope that was a motorbike and not you farting.
It's a motorbike.
Yeah. Well, you won't tell us anything. You won't tell us anything. But you know what? You know, I just don't. And as I say, I'm not the fan, so I'm not an Arsenal fan, obviously, so I'm not going to get it. But you know, I just is it slowly getting right? It took Klopp. Somebody said earlier, it took Klopp 4 years to get it right at Liverpool.
Yeah. To be honest, right, what I will say is onto that is I wouldn't say, because I know it took Jurgen Klopp, Chris, 4 years to get back where Liverpool was, but I still don't think this manager isn't the right man. Think about it. Unai, right, 22 games undefeated on everybody thought we got our arse. We still didn't finish top 4, and that was the 2018-19 season. We finished 1 point off top 4, 2 points off third, but I don't think we haven't got our Arsenal back, because we still, as Melina said, we've got to play Liverpool at Anfield after the international break. So let's see what happens in that game.
Oh yeah, but I'll try to be honest with you though, Luca, and I would say this as well. I wouldn't choose I wouldn't judge our season on our manager on the results against Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal. You know, well, it's Arsenal possibly, but sorry. Let's the top 4. You know, let's say, because you know that those are games that you probably will lose. Even under Wenger, you would probably have struggled against Liverpool. But it's these sort of games that maybe last season, the season before, you wouldn't have beaten us. Well, you did, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, we beat you and all that stuff.
Yeah, we beat you. Obviously, it was 1-1 last season. But what I'm saying is it slowly getting right? Are you know, can you give him time?
To be honest, Arteta's had plenty of time this season. I've been in Mikel Arteta around since November last year. We've lost Aston Villa, but we need to stop getting to carry ourselves. And people might say, trust the process. There isn't a process, but to be honest, for now, it's good that we're on a bit of a good run. And it's good, like, what Arteta is doing now. Have we turned it around? We have, but I don't think it's not the turning point, if you get what I mean. Because, to be honest, yes, we're 5th. It's only 9-10 games. Let's see where Arsenal are from now to Christmas. If we have turned it around, then I'm starting to see we can push, maybe even top 4, top 6. So, but overall, today's game, I thought we were brilliant. I thought first 20 minutes, half an hour, we were brilliant. That save, Aaron Ramsdale, changed the game. It changed the game. Like
it did, and as I said to Melina, had that or one of our other chances gone in, I think you'd have been looking at not getting the 3 points. But Luca, I'm going to have to go because obviously.
Yeah, that's fine, man. That's fine. Thanks for having me on, man. That's okay, man.
Well done for today. You know, I give credit where credit's due. As I'm stuffed on humble pie with Arsenal, but credit where credit's due. Well done on today, mate. And we'll talk later in the season.
We will, man. We'll discuss that with you, yeah? All right, then.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do, mate. Take care.
See you in a bit. Take care,
cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
See you later,
mate. He was outside. We can say that. And, it was making it a bit hard.
If he chose to swear when he was crossing the road, at least he had the beeper on.
Hey, bum. I still sorry. The joke of the day was still mine, but I will give you that was a good one. I like that one. Let's just have a look at a few comments and we'll see what people have been saying. A lot of them is we've got a Liverpool Man United loving going on here. Jack, good evening, sir. How the devil are you? Welcome along. Slow start again. Thomas and Marty can only pass back or sideways. What does BR say before kickoff? These negative slow starts costing us clearly. I just wonder, Brad. We do know we haven't kept a clean sheet, so we do know there are problems at the back. We've seen, every sort of defender, wing back seems to have an injury at some point this season. And we said on the preview, the fact that we're still saying like, oh yeah, Marty's one of our best defenders this season probably kind of sums it up. But we need, there needs to be something done. The defending from corners, the defense. Have we got a defensive coach in there? What does Torre do? I thought that was his job.
Well, yeah, it is, and obviously something needs to change. Either we need to change who stands where in these defensive set pieces, or we need to tactically change how we defend set pieces, because this is not just a problem of this season. This has been a problem for 4 or 5 years. In fact, you could probably say it's always been an Achilles heel of Leicester, if you would. I remember we usually concede from set pieces more times than not. It's something that it's like a cryptic puzzle that Leicester just haven't been able to nail on. It's something that does need to change. We need to figure out how to stop it being so consistently, because every team's going to concede from corners at some point. It happens. You put in a killer ball and you get your head on it first. Eventually you're going to concede from it. It's the regularity that's alarming. But see, the slow start to me goes down to the shape. Was as delighted as anybody, winning team, winning formula and all that jazz. 3 at the back, 5 at the back. But to say that, Luke, especially Luke Thomas, only knows how to pass sideways, that's and I know everybody's entitled to opinion, and that's your opinion. In my opinion, that's a ridiculous statement. I'm not saying you're wrong, because no one's right or wrong on it. It's an opinion. Don't think I'm having a go at you. I'm not trying to chastise anybody. But I think the system was what did Luke Thomas today, because he got, and I came out and said it, he got ripped to shreds on that left. He got ripped to shreds. He was getting pulled all over the park. Saka and that were having an absolute field day. When we changed the shape and went to a 4 at the back and he was playing his role differently, he definitely looked a lot more certified and a lot more calmer and in control of that side of the field. So sometimes, look, you just get it wrong, don't you? Sometimes you think, we'll line up like this. This is how we'll
hold that thought one moment. Talk about getting things wrong. Burnley 3, Brentford 0.
Oh.
I know. Again, I think we should stop this prediction malarkey. We're rubbish at it. But yeah, sorry to interrupt you there. But Burnley, I had to double take that then. Like, really? Maisie says there, Luca, when he was on, why not trust the process? It can work. How's Ollie's process going, Maisie? I'm just wondering, because it's up there with it.
It's actually funny that you say that, Chris. Because I was listening back and forth. I had to go and sort myself out a drink. I had to go and sort myself out a drink and have a bit of chocolate. I was getting a bit lightheaded. It's probably because of my sleeping pattern at the moment. So I wanted to boost my levels up. That's why I was off camera. But I was listening to Luca, and I kind of try and see everything as a whole entirety perspective from a group of fans and not individual fans. But I get the common theme that I feel like, in a way, Arteta is put in the same bracket as Ollie. I think, we use the term scapegoat, and everybody says that Leicester always have a scapegoat. It's Chilwell, it's this player, it's that one, blah, blah, blah. But I think because of the inexperience and because of the recent bad memories of bad results and the current ones for Manchester United, they're not in great form. They hope that, they'll be looking at this game thinking even if they win today, it doesn't change a thing on their opinions of Ollie. I think it's easier just to go, yeah, well, there's not that trust. I think they're linked arm in arm, that because they're not experienced and they don't have that caliber and CV that other managers who could come to their club and manage their players have, it's easier to say still not trust by it, still not done by it. But if that was Conte getting them results, I would argue Arsenal fans would be blowing, speaking, waxing lyricals about it.
Yeah.
I think when a manager's on form, it doesn't matter their reputation, their experience. You have to hold your hands up and say, credit where it's due. Right now, whatever you're doing, you're getting it right. Keep it up.
Maisie, it's a good job. I love you.
So you know what? If the fans feel like this, I don't want to work for a club that treats me like this. And it will happen.
Oh, sorry, Brad. Getting back. Maisie, Brendan's on the wheel. It's a good job. I love you. Otherwise, you'd be banned. Stephen, good evening. How the devil are you? Well done, mate. You deserved it today. I find like on Arteta to do me a favour for once. Yeti Boy says here, Luke Thomas is good against bottom 5 teams. He needs a loan in January. Really?
I mean,
agree with that? I mean, again, it's Yeti's opinion, and he's very much entitled to it. I probably would disagree with that opinion.
I mean, I agree with half of that. Not the first half.
No.
But I understand where he's coming from. We've got Castagne, Bertrand, and a returning JJ. I think maybe when JJ's back fully fit and maybe cements his place on the left, you won't want to spend the next 6 months watching Luke Thomas playing against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, playing against maybe a Stoke in the third round of the FA Cup, and that's all we really see of him.
But when you send players out on loan, the idea is that they get in game time, they get in experience. So we send him out, let's say, to a League One side or a Championship side, you're getting that experience. But at the moment, he's getting games for us. And, so he's not actually going to gain anything by going out on loan. He's going to gain more by staying with us because we're playing the teams that we're going to be, we're up against. So is he going to learn?
No.
Let's be honest with you. Is he going to learn more playing away at Wycombe Wanderers, or is he going to learn more playing against Spartak Moscow? I tell you what, I think he'll learn more against Spartak Moscow. If he wasn't getting the games here, I'd say fine. And JJ will be coming back. Whether he'll be totally fit in January is another matter. But
JJ will be back by the next couple of weeks, won't he? He's back in pretty much full training. So, and again,
but we know we're not going to rush him back.
Oh no, I know he won't be up to pace until probably later on in this year. I think he'll be back. Yeah. I think he'll be back before December playing for us. And again, yes, I understand that Luke Thomas has been getting game time, and I understand exactly where you're coming from. What would be better for him? And I think the better way to kind of combine both our points together to ask the question is, with a fit Castagne, Ricardo Pereira, and JJ and Bertrand, right? And they're 3 out of the 4 of them could play on the left. If Ricardo Pereira's fit today, does Brendan pick Thomas over Castagne on left? Honestly, I don't think.
Could you say when JJ comes back that we will have for the rest of the season all our defenders fit? No, because we know Evans will probably get injured. Pierre and Castagne, they're in and out, like somebody on a blue pill. I just don't think for the rest of the season we're going to have a settled in enough back 4 to let anybody go. I don't think we've got enough cover at the back to let anybody go. Next season, fair point, Brad. Maybe if he's not going to get a look in next season. But again, let's remember he's had some damn good games out there as well.
Oh, yeah. Certainly.
And are we turning, are we turning him into the next Chilwell? Like, let's just hate him because we hate him. I mean, Yeti Boy there, in response to his question, he won't get a game, though, if everybody is fit. He would never, if everybody had been fit, we wouldn't even know who Luke Thomas is. Let's be honest with you.
No, that is true.
Because we wouldn't have seen him. But Tell me the last time we had a fully fit back line. I tell you what, you've got to probably go back 2 seasons because we've always got somebody out. And like I say, if we send him out, we might not be able to call him back depending on the agreement. But you know, we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
We did it with Barnes, but we couldn't do it with Dewsbury Hall last season. We couldn't call him back because of the agreement we had with Luton. So let's
Although to be fair, that's 2 contrasting things. Harvey Barnes was always one that was on the cusp of getting in the first team, and Dewsbury Hall last season was still in that. Go and get yourself. You know, that was the ideal season for him to get a full season because he was very much eager, and it was to Luton. His loan move, and with the great respect, it was a newly promoted side, so you had Leicester probably felt more comfortable in thinking that Dewsbury Hall was going to get more game time than he would if he'd gone to a Birmingham or a Blackburn. I'm not saying they were interested, but I'm you know what I'm saying. Like a newly promoted side would have been more confident to give him a chance, and we've got a good rapport with Luton. You know, JJ and that over the last few seasons.
But no, what I was saying, my example in that is that the Luton agreement didn't allow us to take him back.
Yeah,
but the West Brom one.
I think, and I do totally concur with, I agree with your point. I think it purely comes down to what Rodgers decided. You know, and I know it sounds obvious, like obviously it comes down to what Rodgers thinks, but I think it comes down to, because you can't live in hypotheticals, because we could get all these players back and we could not get an injury all season. We could keep the trend going or keep having injuries. We don't know. Brendan Rodgers needs to decide what benefits not just Leicester, but what benefits Luke Thomas more. If, let's say, he's at least
it's okay, bad. Yeah, you don't need. But what the thing is, at the moment, we haven't got that fitness levels at the back. So at the moment, he shouldn't be going out. You know,
and again, we're a good 8 weeks from that talking point. You might be talking about a completely different Luke Thomas in 8 weeks. Let's be honest.
The way that we're going with the players we're buying, and I know, you know, we've got this good youth system and what have you, but you know, we always say, right, we need to go out and buy a player. We need to go out and buy somebody on the right wing. We need to buy so maybe we're going to get into the position that other clubs are, that we're bringing players in so the youngsters aren't getting the chance. You know, I mean, just as
I definitely wouldn't like to see that. There, I definitely wouldn't like to see that. I am definitely not saying that he's the next Chilwell or anything. I'm actually a very good advocate of him being a promising player that's at Leicester for many years and playing many first team games. And I think there's fans out there that want to see that from Luke Thomas, and maybe that's why some people are under the opinion, and it might benefit him more with knowing in the back of his mind that he's still a young lad. His confidence is very, you know, at that age, you're very, I wouldn't say unstable.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Get him to the Championship, get him play him every week, get him getting good performances under the belt, or do you say, right, this is the time where Luke Thomas, maybe in the next 3 or 4 weeks, Brendan kind of goes, right, I get the chance to handle Luke Thomas the way I wanted to from the start. Luke, you're not going anywhere. You're staying with these lads for the next 6 months. You might not play many games, depending on who we're playing and what goes on. But I want you here learning every day, watching and learning. So if an injury comes in, or I give you a chance, I'm already knowing I'm going to get the best out of you. And then that might be the way Rodgers goes. I'm more inclined to think that way, especially the way you've put it. You've actually kind of put me back more onto the fence of him staying at Leicester over and not going out alone in that argument. But again, we're 8 weeks away. We'll talk more about potential ins and outs when it's actually time. Unlike the papers that do it every 3 hours. We'll do it when it's nearer the window than now, to be fair.
Yeah. A message here from Anthony, who's an Arsenal fan. Just wanted to say, hi, I do have a box of tissues if you need them. I am very surprised, Anthony, because I thought most Arsenal fans actually used all those tissues up when they were wanking over getting Maddison at the start of the season. Whoa! Yes, I said it. Yeah. Now, Anthony, well done, mate. You deserved it today. You were. It was a good performance. It was a good performance. How is your board looking, Brad?
I'd have to go and get it from upstairs because it's still sat up in the.
Oh, that's all
in
right
the
then. No, I was
area.
just going to say, if you've got it, I was ready to go with it. Right. So,
Give me a sec. I'll run upstairs and I can do it from there because I do want to talk about the tactics. If you want me to do it,
yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. You go. I'll go through some comments here. Where are we here? Let's have a look at some comments. So sorry, Anthony. Yeah, I was just being very sarcastic there. But yeah, you deserved it overall. David, hi, good evening. Yeah, everybody knows it says Michael, but it's David. Paul, 36 minutes. It was. It's like we have a habit, this Leicester. We seem to like to give teams a good start and then make it hard for ourselves coming back. Had we started the first half, how we started the second half, with or without substitutions, because like I say, there was no excuse, because that team that he put out should have been good enough to play the way that we started the second half. I looked at that team, I was happy with that team. So I was just, like I said, just disappointed in the way we started. Arsenal appeared to want it more at the start, as they do. So we're going to be looking. We're going to be looking at some tactics now, and we'll be right back and do that with Brad straight after this. Coming up on Monday night, 7 o'clock, we have got a brand new show. The Three Amigos, 3 Leicester channels coming together. Leicester Till I Die, Beyond the 90, and Ants, Leicester's TV channel. We're going to be coming back and doing a monthly review. And so obviously, guess what? October. We'll be doing that on Monday night. And to be honest with you, there's going to be a lot to talk about. First of all, though, it's this. Yes, Brad's tactical appraisals. We're not quite up to Sky's level at the moment, but he knows what he's talking about. Let me just put it this way. Let's bring him back in. Hi, Brad.
Howdy. I'm a talking board, mate. I'm a talking board from here on.
I can see your eye there. I will pass you over to Brad, and he made some very good points on this. So here we go, Brad.
Okay, cheers, Chris. So, where did Leicester get it wrong today? It sounds like an easy talking point. It's quite easy to probably pick it up. But this is where Leicester got it wrong today. They lined up as we expected. Well, anyone watching the previous show knows I didn't expect it, but I had it probably more sound of mind that Rodgers would line up with a winning team and a winning formation, which has done well in previous weeks. The only problem is today we carried an issue over from Brentford game, and that was that Arsenal came at us, and they came at us in a way, and I'm just going to get rid of our midfielders here. They're going to go sit on the bench because I'm not really needed to express this point. The problem was today is Arsenal came at us with Lacazette just behind Aubameyang. The wingers came at us as we expected to come into a 4. But what was more concerning is the wingers were able to move into the middle. They were able to move in because the left back and right back took their roles. They came in here. And Leicester did not know whether to stick or twist. And it caused the right bit of confusion and a bit of daze. In Leicester, it was almost like they were sucker punched before the bell had a chance to ring in a fight, because all of a sudden it was 6-on-3. Because what happened with Arsenal's clever, intricate passing is they actually dragged the likes of Thomas and Castagne into the middle and out of position. So Leicester were caught napping. And what Leicester usually do good in this system is they pass the ball around when they win the ball back. They knock it to a midfielder and Leicester on the counter. But because of the fact that Arsenal pulled Leicester out of position and ended up, and I'll just quickly get rid of these because this pen was not the best. But essentially, what Arsenal ended up doing is coming up Leicester, pulled the wingers out of position, and all of a sudden the pull back three had not just one, not just two, not just three, not just four, but 5 and 6 Arsenal players at a point, and because of how flustered it got and how unawares it caught Leicester, because let's be honest, we knew Arsenal had a good attacking form, and Brendan and the lads will probably set up for a counter-attacking game to counteract their counter-attack, if you would. But I don't think Leicester were expecting such a high velocity of numbers in Arsenal's press. And what that led to was a misunderstanding of communication between our back line, which meant that Leicester inadvertently found their wing backs all over the shop. They were too far forward on the wide. Luke Thomas a lot of times was found wanting in the middle of the field like a lost lamb. Same for Castagne on the right at times was exactly the same. There's nothing just on Castagne. And obviously it nearly led to an own goal, didn't it? I mean, Marty might say, well, I knew where the ball was and I trust my goalkeeper to be where he should be, so it was safe enough. But that was the warning signs. And Arsenal threatened that, as we know, very well for the first 30, 35 minutes. And that initially put the mockers on it, didn't it? We looked shaky from there. But my biggest concern, and one thing I think is the biggest problem, and we've discussed it already on this show, that Leicester have, is this. They have a 3-line standing for an Arsenal player to take a corner. Arsenal players have all their players in and around the box. And here's what I think Leicester have a problem of. Is they have too many players in the box. They have too many players. Arsenal probably have Redmark there, that one there, someone at the front post maybe. But Leicester try and play a dead straight defensive line and cluster the box. They go right in front of the line of Casper to try and shore up that 6-yard area. And what that allowed, as we saw for the goal, was because there were so many Leicester bodies, it almost confused as to who's marking who. Soyuncu at times like, do I mark him? Do I follow him? Do I cover the middle in case he goes over him? What do I do? And that was very clever by Arsenal. Their movement in box was brilliant. I've got to give a lot of credit to them. But what it also meant is Arsenal probably hung Smith Rowe and players like that on the edge of the box, so that when Leicester kind of duked the ball in the air and couldn't get rid of it, Arsenal had somebody ready just to put it back in the mixer and cause Leicester trouble, because Leicester were all of a sudden had Vardy falling asleep because he had no chance. He had no chance of the ball breaking out to him because Arsenal had their back, probably 1 or 2 centre backs and the 2 midfielders on the edge of the box. And Leicester weren't going to break away from that because Arsenal forced them into the box. I think the old expression, too many cooks spoil the broth, as they say. Because Leicester had too many people trying to do the defensive job. And it's something I noted in weeks gone by, because Leicester tend to, when they're trying to recover the ball, send too many of their non-defending players to make the runs back. I've talked about Tillemans and Ndidi and Maddison being found on the edge or in our box, and even at some points, Vardy, meaning Leicester can't enact their counter-attacking plan to as great a standard as we've seen over time. So how did Leicester fix the problem? It was very simple. Change their marking system. Change their defensive marking system. I don't want to see Evans and Soyuncu starting their defensive line like this. I don't want a corner coming into the box and having our 3 centre-backs like that, because that's what they're like. And it's like, right, you go, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go. And then what happens? Gabriel got the header. flicked it across. Casper's got no chance. And that's happened on a few occasions for Leicester, and it nearly caught us out against Brentford. It's caught us out against Palace. It's caught us out a few times from set pieces. A lot of goals have been conceded, and it's been a big talking point on today's show. And that's where Leicester need to organise it. They need to stick to 3, 4 men, I would say, in that box. Zonal mark there, and have the and cover them aggressive areas. That's the area where Leicester really keep losing games, and that's where Leicester lost it today, being too conservative on defence in fear of conceding from set pieces, Chris.
And can I just say, if any Arsenal fans watching and you do want Arteta out, that Brad is available, but I am his agent, so you will have to come through me. Well done, Brad. Thank you very much. You talk so much sense. You really do talk so much sense. It's untrue. He's gone off for a quick rub. And when I say that Brad's gone off for a quick rub, I mean he's rubbing down his board. Now that sounds just as bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, that sounds like a euphemism.
Give him a gold sticker. Maybe you should give him one of your tissues. I don't know. Moving on. Sussex Hotspur. Good afternoon. So how the devil are you? What happened today? You were a bit unlucky in the second half. We were unlucky in the second half, but we were shit in the first half. And when you're shit in the first half, no matter how unlucky you are, unless you can bring on Messi, you're going to struggle. I didn't say Ronaldo then because you don't know how he's going to play. Sorry, Maisie. And that was great, Brad. He does do that very, very well, does Brad. Anyway, we've got another Arsenal fan going to join us now, and I am sure that I do know he wasn't Arteta's biggest fan at the start of the season, but I'm sure now that he is absolutely in love with Arteta. I mean, he's doing so well at Arsenal, 6-7 games unbeaten. I mean, great result. And what a birthday present for him. It's his birthday. I think it's today his birthday. 30 years old. 2-0 present off Arsenal. Happy 30th birthday, mate.
Funny. Right. I'll tell you what, if you give me the two options, Arsenal win or Arteta get sacked, I'll take the latter.
I said to Luca earlier, what has he got to do?
He's got to start performing throughout 90 minutes for starts. It's all right playing 30 minutes, but we've got another 60 minutes to play.
So if you'd played well, equally good first and second half, and got
then I'd actually look at it and say
happier than
I would be happier because it would be like, yeah, I can actually see a progress. Doing it in bits and parts of a game's great, but if you're going to constantly get battered for the rest of the game. And to be honest, you should have got a point out of the second half. I mean, I've seen parts of the second half, and you should have got at least a point. Because if it weren't for Ramsdale, right, and the amount of hate Ramsdale got from our fans, what are they all saying now? They're all hiding now. They're all in love with him now, right? And I said, Luca's one of them as well. I said to him, I said to him on Twitter right now, it's just that. Yeah, you were saying you're giving him all the stick in the world. And I said, look, forget what he's done. What's done is done. Focus on what he's going to do for Arsenal and give him a chance. And you give him a chance, look what he's doing. And the main thing is he's an horrible bastard, basically. He don't care who he insults in that defence. If you're not doing your job, he will shout at you. And that's what you don't get with Leno. And that's why I think he's more commanding in the box than Leno.
I thought you meant Luca was then, to be honest with you.
No.
I had to double take. I thought, yeah, okay. You disagree with him, but come on here, But, I mean, I know one swallow doesn't make a summer, and I know that this has been, but at first half performance, and you could argue that. There's a very thin line between saying that we didn't wake up, we didn't play well, to the other argument that says that you didn't let us play well.
But that's the thing. If you were playing if Arsenal were playing well, and if Leicester were playing well, chances are Leicester will probably win that game.
We don't tend to win so many against you. That's the thing. You do have the sort of Damocles over us, and you may notice I'm a little bit more reserved than I was last night. Can I just say, by the way, I did finish the book. It was a good read. You have to go back and look at Lucas' stream from last night.
Don't.
At that point, I thought I'll get my book out and put my feet.
No,
up.
it's the clickbait. It's the clickbait. What happened? Oh no.
That was fun. He didn't. I don't think he appreciated. I don't know if he saw mine or not, to be honest with you. But anyway, there we go. So I mean, I would tend to say, excuse me, that Arteta's going nowhere this season.
Well, yeah. But do you know what the problem is? Is that the reason he's not going anywhere is because the media can't get enough of him. Right? I don't know why. I mean, it's Mike Keown sitting there saying, I'm starting to see something on Arteta, and I'm like, if we win this game, we're going to start moving forward. I'm like, oh, I never knew Leicester was the benchmark, mate. Right? That long time ago, mate, you used to say actually beating Man United to win a title was the way forward. Now you're saying Leicester is.
Just on that point, and I get what you're saying, but on that point, they were saying that a lot on BT as well.
That's the thing. That's the thing. The whole media have got this whole thing about Arteta that he's the next coming of Pep, and everyone loves him, and it all filters down. Yeah, and that's the thing. You go to Arteta, you get the Arteta in fans who just they're so gullible. They'll listen to the PR. They'll listen to the spin.
But no disrespect to Leicester, we're not. You know, we're not a Norwich anymore. We're not a
you know as well as I know, Chris. You know as well as I know. I can quite easily say Leicester are placing us right now where we are.
Yeah, but you know, it was a tough game for you. You know, we were a team that's just gone out and stuffed Man United 4-2. You know, we went to.
We won't go any further than that, will we?
It kind of, you know, it was a tough. In fairness, because of how Leicester are at the moment, I think it was a tough challenge for you, and it did show. The argument the other way is if we'd have gone out and beaten you 2 or 3-0, then the questions could be asked about Arteta.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's right saying that. Like, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm saying that beating Leicester is not exactly like it's like expected, especially with Arsenal the way we are at the minute. It's a good result for Arsenal, right? But when I got rid of Wenger, when I got rid of Emery, the idea was I was replacing a manager who got us 5th and one that got us top 4 all the time, and then 5th and 6th. I got rid of them so I can get a manager to start winning titles. And at the minute, you don't see that at Arsenal. You see bits where we play well, but I'm sorry, teams that then go on and progress on to then go top 4 and then progress even further to go and challenge for the title are ones that are consistently playing well over a consistent amount of games and only have one or two of those games where they win, but they're not playing well. So
I will say is I'm glad you're not my boss, as you're a hard taskmaster. You really are.
I tell you what, Fred. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry. No. I tell you what though, with the 3 Arsenal fan guests we've had on today, if you were a neutral and you just tuned in and listened to us 3 and the other 2 that have been on talk about the game, you'd think that Leicester fans would be more pleased with that result than some of the.
That's the thing, because I've seen it all before where we get a good result. We get a good result like Leicester, right? We think we've turned the corner. I mean, one time we had with Emery, we went 22 games unbeaten. Look what happened. You're not getting the sack. So, like, just because we've gone 7 games unbeaten with Arteta does not mean that I'm now sitting here saying he's going to turn everything around. Like, if I see consistent performances, then it's like I said earlier. It's like I said last night. Sorry, right? We struggled to score against Norwich. We only scored against Burnley because of a free kick. Lucky we didn't lose to Brighton. We're lucky we didn't lose to Crystal Palace. Right? We should have done. Right? And I think the only 2 other games were good results.
Stephen, 2 points. You know, you could look at Leicester and look at Arsenal and say the seasons are pretty much quite similar this season. should we be shouting Rodgers out? We're sat below you. We've had a poor start to the season. We only just managed to struggle to beat Norwich. We haven't. I kept a clean sheet apart from the first game. But we do know what Rodgers can bring us, and with Arteta, like we said, I said earlier to Luca, 4 seasons it took Klopp to get something at Liverpool, and when he got something, my God, did he get something that season?
Yeah, but he also got to Europa League final in his first half season.
But you got to the FA Cup in Arteta's first half.
Oh, he didn't get to a Champions League the season after that.
All right. I know I'm not going to convince you. Sometimes you just got to put your hands up and go, all right.
Liverpool, what Liverpool are doing,
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
The difference is Klopp's an elite manager. Arteta's got no experience. That's the difference.
Could he be if you stick with him?
I'm not sitting here waiting for Arsenal to train a manager, right? Arsenal is supposed to train players, not train managers. Right? Arsenal should be looking at managers that can actually take them forward. And
fair enough.
The thing with I just want to mention about you mentioned about Brendan Rodgers there. I think Fofana's a big miss for you, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why you're having problems defensively. And I also feel that, Brendan Rodgers has won you the FA Cup. He's got you consistently, all right, maybe just outside the top 4, but challenging for a long periods of it. Right? Even at one point, you started looking at a title race. You were mentioning at some parts. But what Brendan Rodgers has got there is actually a good process that's worked. So why would you want to go change that?
I wouldn't. No, I was purely playing devil's advocate with that one. I obviously don't want him to go at all, and he doesn't want to go. Let's be honest. He's turned down Newcastle. He's turned down Man United. He's turned down Barcelona.
He didn't want Arsenal when we got rid of Emery,
and he didn't want Arsenal either. Mind you, can you blame him? But then again, Stephen, it's been great having you on. If I can do it, I'll return the favour, mate. Have a great birthday. Have a great birthday. You've got 3 points for your birthday. I tell you what, you're looking well for 30.
You're not looking bad for 80 odd either.
I'm not. I tell you, after following Leicester for so long, I feel 80.
Trust me, this hair is going to start going grey and start getting gone.
Just be grateful, make the most of the fact that you've got it, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Thanks a lot for coming on. All the best,
Take
mate.
care, guys.
And well done for today.
See you later, buddy.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. You're not going to convince some people, are you?
No, but I do get it. I suppose when you get so used to getting yourself burnt every time you've started to get excited at a bit of turn in form, and then lo and behold, it goes wrong. I can see why there's still that air of almost resistance to be optimistic as an Arsenal fan. I do get it to a point, but I do feel that they should cut them a bit more slack considering the form is. But I can understand why they're a bit apprehensive.
We are not. We are not Arsenal fans, and
that's very true. We don't deal with it week in, week out. We don't have to cry ourselves to sleep every week. They have been over recent times.
So totally, and it is a lot of banter and winding each other up and whatever. We do, and it's become that because I think because of the whole Maddison situation at the start of the season, they have become one of our big banter clubs for me, anyway. And let's be honest with you. If we struggle this season, we're going to be moaning. What were we like after we won the Premier League and then we were in the relegation zone the next season? So we kind of do it as but like I say, it's always fun to wind up an Arsenal fan. They're like clockwork fans, aren't they? With a big key in the back, and you just wind it up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, proper wind them up.
Yeah, your board went down very well, sir. I don't know if you saw these because I think you were off rubbing at the time. Devils United, that was great, Brad. And Anthony says, Chris, give him a gold sticker. I can't tell you.
I'll take the gold sticker.
The budget doesn't go to those sort of stretch the imagination. I'm sorry. I'd have to just write him a well done on a card. for that. Just for you there, just for you, Stephen.
Yeah, see, trust the process. That's the new one for that.
Brookline, welcome back. He says we are having trouble getting points when Perez is out. Perez tracks back and presses and plays forward more quickly than Madison.
I'm gone. I'll see you later, Chris. Nice show. Well done, Brookline.
Oh, I knew. Oh, I know. I was just waiting for that. Honestly.
Mods, ban him in the chat. Come on, Mods, do job. I don't know if you've got a little bit. Come on, Mods, come on, let's fix this now.
Hey, Brookline.
I tell you what, you know about that wind up? Yeah, Brooklyn heard that. I thought, I know what I wind Brad up. I'll mention Perry.
David says here, listening to some of the Arsenal fans, they're a bit too arrogant. To take the position they do when the performance is off. Expect to win all the time, regardless. Look up the word illusions of grandeur. Now, I'm going to be honest with you on that, David. I actually lost it a little bit. I was on a Man United chat last night. I wasn't on it. I was in the chat a bit like you are, David. And they were talking about Ollie in, Ollie out, Ollie shaking it all about. There's a horrible thought. But they're on about should Brendan go to Leicester or not? Should Brendan go from Leicester?
Yeah, he could go to
Manchester
right.
United. He could go Leicester, yeah, from Leicester to Manchester United. And I'm sort of saying, like, why? And well, we're a big club, and I'm saying, but you're not at the moment, because when was the last time you actually won anything? And this is what gets me with all these. I'm not going to say big, and no disrespect to the Man United fan that was in earlier. There's a program that was done recently that was the best, and Brad will know this, the best starting 11 from the Big Six. And it is that arrogance of all, well, not all of those fans, because in fairness, Melina wasn't like that. She's never been that arrogant. But the arrogance that they showed at the start of the season with Maddison, he's going to come to Arsenal, whatever. He will walk barefoot over broken glass because we are Arsenal. Yeah, that didn't actually work out, did it? And Manchester United, as I said, and I posted this and left. I was being a bit of a coward. I'm going to be honest with you. I posted this and left. And I said, Man United are not even the biggest club in Manchester at the moment. Because to me, okay, they've got the fan base. Okay, you've got a huge fan base. Does that make you a big club? If Exeter City suddenly triple the size of the stadium and everybody down that part of the country goes and starts supporting them and they get 35,000 fans every week, does that suddenly make them a big club? A big club is when you win trophies. And yes, Man United were a huge club for many years under Fergie. Before that, they weren't. And now they're not. Manchester City are winning more trophies more regularly than Manchester United. Arsenal, they won the FA Cup. I'll give them that. But it's this expectation. And I understand it, because I could just said to you, Brad, we are, I'm a bit like that. Like, why aren't we up there in 4th and 5th again? We've been there for 2 seasons. We should be now. So I kind of get it a little bit. But I don't try to be arrogant towards the other teams. And yes, there is a pecking order. We will go to clubs below us to get people. And, Celtic were pissed off when we poached their manager. But it was the arrogance. We never said, of course, Brendan will want to come to Leicester. Why wouldn't he? We never had that particular arrogance. And that's what gets me. Man United have got to realise that they were nothing really before Fergie. Well, yes, they had the fans. So what? It's like I've said, and here's a quote. Answer me this, Brad. Do you know who the number 1 tennis player in the world, male tennis player in the world, is at the moment?
I would guess. I don't really follow tennis these days, but I would guess Novak Djokovic.
To be honest with you, Brad, I don't know. It was a kind of rhetorical question, but 3-4 years ago, it was Andy Murray. He was number 1 then.
Yeah,
he's not number 1 now.
Yeah,
he's not a big great player now, because what happened then happened then. And yes, Man United were big. Arsenal were big under Wenger, but they're not now because they're not winning anything.
No, but what I would counter to that is regardless of the sport, whether it's an individual sport or a team sport, and you're right, in other sports, certain teams will fall from grace, or you'll have, like you've just pointed out, the point you've just made, Andy Murray was in the top 4, now he's not, but you will always find, and this does fall on the media, they're very clever and very sneaky at doing this, and you know, people do the shows. We're not saying that the people do the shows are the arrogant lot, because they're just doing content. They're trying to get discussions like you play devil's advocate. This is more aimed at exactly what you're saying about them fans that were getting on the cockiness when it was rumoured Manson's. The thing is that all sports have in common is no matter what happens to these players or these teams, because of what they've achieved, you know, Andy Murray winning Wimbledon, you know, first Brit to do it in years, even though he's not in the scene as much these days because of his injury and he's dropped down the order of seeding, I guarantee you when them commentators sit down and talk about the top 4 best all-time great players of this generation, Murray, Nadal, Djokovic, Federer, they're the first 4 names out of anybody's list of who's the top tennis players, tennis players. And then you'll get people who are tennis fans. I mean, and the show that you're inclined to in talking about that I watched all the way through, I will let you know this. There was fans saying West Ham players, Brentford players, Leicester players. And I will give credit to that crew. That this proves they're not, you know, people that you're in question. You know, you're not putting these people in the same brackets of the arrogant ones, because they were very complimentary of Leicester. And I will let everybody know on a secret to go and check out the video. Jamie Vardy and Tielemans, they broke their own set rules for building that team to put them into the team. So I got to give credit where it's due and prove that it is due.
And like content. I say, you haven't. Not every fan is like that, you know.
Yeah.
And well done to that channel for doing that. I wasn't necessarily annoyed with the show. It's just like I say, the arrogance and the problem. I think the two problems is it's Sky who have created this Big Six. There was never this thing before Sky, and it is not the 6 best clubs. It's not the 6 top clubs. It's the top 6 clubs that will give them the viewing figures around the world. Because let's be honest with you, somebody in, I don't know, Brazil or Australia would sooner watch Manchester United versus Liverpool than Leicester versus Norwich. That's it. You know, I get that. I understand that. That makes sense. The problem you also have is that you've got a lot of young fans now that don't remember pre-Sky days. You know, they don't, and they don't. You know, well, we had this. You know, Liverpool were the Man United of this 80s. They were the 90s. They were that in the 70s and 80s. Then they've gone how many years? 13 years before actually, you know, before they've won anything again. And Arsenal, what they do with Arsenal is they're screaming after 1 year. It's like, you might have a bit of a longer wait than that, you know. But no, it's not all the fans. And at the end of the day, yes, it is banter. Most of it is banter, let's be honest with you. And it's good to be able to banter. But we'll give banter back. And this is the Leicester channel. And I'll always have a dig at the teams, obviously. Maisie, thank you very much, young lady. Great stream today, guys. Thank you very much. Brookline says he's never met a Tottenham fan. I tell you what, I'm going to be watching that. I'm going to come off here. I'm going to do all the uploading, and then I'm going to order my takeaway. I think I'll probably have fish and chips again. Or do I have a Toby? Decisions. What's your favourite takeaway? Just changing the subject for a bit here.
Oh, I am a sucker for Chinese. I do like.
I was just thinking then. Yes, I was just thinking. What's your favourite Chinese?
King prawn fried rice.
Oh no, sweet and sour.
I do like others, but it's very rare I find a dish that complements prawns in it that I'll eat the entirety of it, and the king prawn fried rice works well for me. I had one last night and I enjoyed it all, mate.
I must be honest with you. I can't do an Indian.
Well, I mean, that's a preference. I mean, yeah, Indians are
no. I tell you why. Not that I don't like Indians. I've always, it's a thing in my family. I've really bad heartburn. I'm on tablets for the whole of my life for heartburn. So you can imagine, with curries, it tends to sort of, and it's twice as hard on the way out as it is on the way in. I always think with an Indian, because of course
I like my spicy food.
Johnny Cash wrote that very famous song about Indian takeaway, didn't he? Ring of Fire.
Ring of Fire by any chance?
Yeah. No, I mean, actually, not that I don't like them. They don't like me. And I do suffer badly.
I think that's a common thing for people that say that about Indians, isn't it? It's not normally a case of it's not you not liking the food. It's more the fact that your body does not like it in there and gets it out quick as possible.
I tell you what, I've when I used to live in Burnley, one of our best friends, myself and my wife, was an Indian family, and we used to go around, and the meals that they put together, oh my God, there was this full table of the most amazing food you've ever seen, and I couldn't eat it. It was so annoying, But,
that's the worst, isn't
it? Typical. But then again, like I say, it did used to clear out the old system if I did have a nibble.
If you got constipation, it was a good meal to have, wasn't it?
It was. I tell you what, you can tell Leicester have lost when we start talking about It's been a long time since we've gone on a deviated journey like this. David says, Chris, next time, Chris, you might need to kick them in the teeth. I hate listening to the arrogance on that level. Banter is one thing, but that is nauseating to listen to. Yeah, I mean, you do get defensive. We do get defensive about our teams. I only caught the second half of the game, so I missed the 2 goals. I'm in Las Vegas. Very nice. Not sure who you are. Stick a name on the end. Nice that you're in Las Vegas. Is it Celine Dion by chance? I thought the boys produced wonderful pressure the entire second half. Sometimes you run into a keeper who is tracking everything. Obviously, I wanted to be a positive result, but Ramsdale was great. Yeah, he was. He was man of the match, and he deserved to be.
Yeah.
And talking of arrogance, I said I was in a chat of a show last night, and I was having a bit of a dig at Man United. Hello, hello, Talk MU. How are you, sir?
There we go. There it is.
There we go. I've got to take this because I was giving it some in his chat last night. Brendan is not going to come to Manchester, mate. He doesn't want you. He's come out and said he doesn't want you. Ollie's at the wheel. All is well. It's going. And like I said, mate, you're not even the biggest team in Manchester at the moment. Just thought I'd mention that. Talk MU, how the devil are you, sir? Are you having some garlic bread and you were safe? It's going to be an interesting game at R5 between Tottenham and Man United. I'm not sure what way that's going to go.
Well, definitely not, because we both predicted a draw, didn't we?
Yes, that is very true. Talk, LOL. I'm not sure GGMU. Something Man United, obviously. Go Man United. Great gosh, Man United.
I know. The only time I know
gigantic gonads, Man United.
Game.
Yes. I think more gigantic gonads, to be honest with you.
But maybe we don't talk about that about his gonads on here.
No. Love garlic bread, Chris. I know you do. I know. 4-0 United today, matey. You never know. Anthony says here, the Arsenal fan, no matter what team we support, it's good to laugh and have banter and keep it nice. We're all in this together. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
The thing is, I think we tend to be defensive as Leicester fans because people still tend to look down on us and think we're this little club that will lose all our players. And if they come knocking on the door, that, we'll immediately say, oh, yes, it's you. You can have our play. You can have our manager. As I said, yes, we will sell. And yes, we will whatever. Just come up with the proper money that we want. And that's, I think, actually, it's the way It's that arrogance. I tell you the way that it's summed up, and it's not just fans. Again, it's the media. Monday Night Football last week, following the Man United game, we got one mention, one sentence on that show, because it was all about how bad Man United were, not how good, Leicester City were. And it's that kind of attitude that makes me defensive and makes me get annoyed, and talk. I know we had a bit of a dig last night at you, and I apologize in the chat. It's sort of a bit of fun, even though Manchester or the City are the bigger club at the moment. But it is the arrogance of basically it came across that, well, if we want Brendan Rodgers, we'll have Brendan Rodgers. It makes us defensive because, like I say, we've got a big pecking order of everything. And, let's face it, I know you got Ronaldo back. He went to Real Madrid for Man United. So, yeah, it is a bit of a pecking order there. But I'm actually looking forward to the Tottenham Man United game. I'm going to be honest with you. It's all good banter, mate. It is indeed. And it's nice. I must admit, I was in one Man United chat, and I really did upset. I was actually on Richie's show one night, and I did actually get a lot of stick off one of the fans, the Man United fan in the chat, and it turns out he's also a Cardiff fan. So I'm not quite sure how that worked out, but hey, big week next week, Brad. Moscow are coming over. The Russians are invading. And then we've got Leeds United next weekend.
Yeah, it's an interesting period for Leicester. Obviously, we was hoping to continue our run of form. But
let's hope we don't now.
Yeah, but again, sometimes you have to look at the picture as a whole and not just at half a picture, as they say. And again, and I know it's easy to say in the circumstances when you're trying to be positive about your own side and maybe not as a neutral, but I definitely get the feeling that we're not the only ones. We're not saying what we're saying about our club in biasness, because obviously a lot of Arsenal fans have come on this show today and said get the same feeling about Leicester and their second half performance. Is if we take them positives, and I'm sure Brendan will be keen to work on and eradicate the issues we're having with our defensive ability from set pieces, but he'll be keen to press forward what we actually got right in that game. And look, it's a European night, it's a home tie. We focus on that competition. We're starting to look good in that, so if we can get back to winning ways, it's probably a second half that saved it, because at one point, 20, 30 minutes on the clock, had that continued, we'd be sat here talking about a 5-0. So, light at the end of the tunnel, mate, is that if we can take that 45 and pick that up from where we left off at the weekend, in midweek, I'm sure it'll come good again. And this will just be a little blip result for now. I don't think it will have a knock-on effect as it did at the start of the season when we struggled to a defeat or a draw.
Yeah, Brad, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Enjoy your weekend.
I will do. It's been a pleasure, mate.
And go and have a day without me tomorrow. You'll miss me.
I know, right? I won't know what to do with myself. Although, I tell you what, Ollie's at the wheel, and they've just announced that they've gone 5 at the back for this game. So prepare yourselves. Prepare yourself for that one, because that sounds like a defensive.
Get your food ready, get your feet up, and enjoy the game. Thanks a lot, mate. Have a good weekend, and we'll obviously speak next week, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers,
care.
everybody, for joining, and take care, everybody.
Cheers. Bye, Brad. Thanks very much.
No.
Brad there, and of course, Brad's tactics, which is always good. Always good. Talk MU, got a lot of respect for Leicester. Yeah, no, I'd say it is all banter. It is all banter. I suppose, had I grown up being a United fan or grown up being a Leicester fan, I've obviously grown up being a Leicester fan, grown up being a Liverpool fan or a Chelsea fan, I probably would be a little bit different. But when you've come from a little club, And we're not a big club yet. The problem is, Talk, that we do need to get into the top 4. And I actually had Liverpool as being the one that might drop out because I think the top 4 this season, at the start of the season, was quids in. And I'm sorry, I'm just shocked at some scores here, but it might be yourselves that are dropping out. Who knows? We will see. Anthony, agree with Talk. Good stream, Chris. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, like I say, well done to Arsenal today. You deserved it over the 90 minutes. It was a tale of two halves, but you did what you had to do in the second half. Burnley still leading at Brentford 3-0. Brighton were leading. They've let it slip. It's 2-2 now. Man City, wow. Losing to Crystal Palace. Shows I know nothing about football. I had Palace to probably struggle and nearly go down. Chelsea have only just managed to score in the 70th minute against Newcastle. And Southampton are beating Watford. I'm off to get a takeaway and enjoy the Tottenham Man United fan. And I don't think, they're calling it the sack game, aren't they? But I don't think either team will sack. I think you've got to give Nuno a lot longer. He's hardly been in there. And Tottenham, you're not Watford. Give him a chance. And Ollie, I don't know. I don't know about Ollie, to be honest with you. I think it's not for me to say I'm not a Man United fan, but from the outside, I think he just can't handle all the big names. And, I said at the start of the season with Man United that, you know what? This season is Ollie's season. If he's going to win something, he's got the players to do it. And if he doesn't do it this season, then I think he will probably go. But I think he may be there till the end of the season with the Glaziers. That said, I don't know. You don't know, do you? You really, really, really don't know. Anyway, enjoy the takeaway. I will do. I'll enjoy the game being a neutral. Don't forget, if you want to watch this back at all, get over onto YouTube. Give us a like and a subscribe. It's a Leicester Till I Die TV. Can't miss us. Just type Leicester Till I Die TV in and give us a subscribe. If you want to listen to it, give us about 10 minutes. It'll be up on the podcasts, Amazon and all the main ones, Google, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. If you prefer to listen rather than look at my ugly mug. We're going to be back tomorrow night at 4... Oh, no, that's Leeds. 6 o'clock tomorrow. We'll have Melina back on, who I'm sure will still be very happy to talk about what happened well for them and what happened bad for us. Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Enjoy the games tonight, guys, if you're watching it, the Tottenham Man United one. And I'm going to just go off now, stick my head in a bucket and cry. What else is there to do? Stay safe, everybody. Have a good weekend. Like I say, well done, Arsenal. And we'll be back.
That's all, folks.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Listen on your favorite podcast platform or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.